event. Thank you, Natasha. Ran a fantastic session in 2019, and then obviously a little green bug kind of did its thing around the globe. So we had to pause for 2020 and 21, although we did host a virtual session last year. But we're thrilled that we're able to host our event in person live again. So this is the national event. The regions pitched to see who's going to host it, and KZN won that opportunity for the year. So it's going to be hosted on behalf of the country in KZN, and we've identified where we're going to be hosting it, which is going to be in the Mhlanga region, and the main venue will be the Premier Hotel. So I'm just very quickly going to go over to the next slide when it lets me. There we go. Just speak you through the agenda for the week. And I haven't had a look who all's on the call, but there's obviously different aspects that everybody wants to take out of the event, put into the event, etc. So just speaking you through the broad schedule. The event is for our domestic community. So that would be our very large and growing fantastic supplier community, with all the different offerings and services that you have, which keep us going as an industry, to our domestic BPO operators, our international BPO operators, and then our in-house captive community as well, coming through, learning about best practice, what's happening globally, etc. We have a number of partners that we work with as Bpesa, social partners, government partners that will be there as well. And then this is also the opportunity for us as a community, as a country, as citizens, to showcase South Africa to the global community. So we have invited a number of investors as well. I'm just going to pause and just expand on that for a moment, because there is an opportunity for you to get involved here. So through our partnership with the DTIC and Invest SA, there is a fund that we tap into, which we did at our 3-city tour earlier on this year. We did it in 2019 when we hosted the event, where we put out to our lead list, our pipeline, our database, that we have any potential investors that are not currently in South Africa or looking to outsource as a client or as a BPO are looking to come and set up in South Africa. So we invite them, but we've also put the request out to our current international BPOs to say, guys, if you have any clients that you've been engaging, whether they're warm or a hot lead that you're working with, or a current client that's looking to expand and actually grow with you, then to put in a request to the DTIC to support them from a funding perspective. And what that covers is a flight, unfortunately, well, for us as taxpayers, probably fortunately, but it's an economy class flight, and then the accommodation. And then us as a community, and Bpesa puts everything else on for the investors that come through. So they're obviously not charged to participate in the event. So it's really looking at getting as many investors as possible. Some of our BPOs have gone that route where they've requested that we invite their clients, just so that that list is never shared beyond myself and the adjudication team at the DTIC as they go through the process of looking at who's applied, because obviously there's X amount of funds in the pot and they can only approve so many. So, there's some details behind that, which if you're interested, just give me a shout or give one of your regional teams a shout and we can explain it. The other thing that we see BPOs doing is they will actually be bringing their clients through. So they'll be paying for the flights and the accommodation and hosting them while they're here, but the investors will actually take part in the event. Again, we obviously wouldn't charge the international investors for any participation in the event. So just running through the program quickly, the investors will be coming in because it's a national event. They may land up in Joburg or Cape Town first, where they're doing some site visits or some meetings, and then from there comes through to KZN on the Monday. Equally so, they may come in on the Monday and then stay for the weekend, do the safari experience, or go through and see other sites around the country, should that be something that they're looking to do post the event. But we get them into KZN for the Monday. We have, it's a closed session, just an icebreaker meet and greet with the investors to make sure that they all know who they are and run them through the week. Then if I go to the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just quickly running through what the program is going to look like. The plenary sessions are in the mornings. It's around about between sort of 9 and 12 o'clock in the morning. We've obviously got a lot that we need to unpack there in limited time. So we're definitely looking at this whole event being very immersive, very engaging, having it more sort of like a TEDx type environment where we're having short, sharp engagements. Plenary session, panel sessions really work well, where we have sort of an abundance of knowledge in a quick package. We've got a great, I'm just waiting for confirmation, hoping that she says yes, but a great international CX speaker, future of CX. We have our master plan that we need to unpack, South Africa's value proposition, really unpacking that. Just to let you know, we are launching the new South Africa value proposition to our members on the 19th of October. So you will have first line of sight of that. And then we'll be sharing some of this at the event itself. So that'll be day 1, 2, 3. If you have any case studies that you would like to have considered to present, the ideal, if it's your client, to say why they chose South Africa, why South Africa rocks, that's really what we're looking for, to have sort of a buyers panel saying what's important for them and, you know, what their journey has been with outsourcing and offshoring. So that'll be the mornings. Then the first orange line there, that's really where our lunches are. Reason that we highlight that is that a lot of events you go and we're under such time pressure that we don't get to actually engage and network. So we've really tried to build in a substantial lunch period so that the networking can take place and business can happen. And then in the afternoons, there's a couple of things that are going to happen. So there's going to be workshops, there's going to be masterclasses. Again, if you've got some specific topics you're hoping to see at the event, let us know. If you've got something that you think that you would like to cover, then please let us know. But for the investors, what we're going to do is that some of them obviously want to go see sites, BPO sites. So we have a couple of BPOs in Durban, and if anybody on the call is from Durban and we haven't spoken to you, let us know. We obviously can't do all the sites in Durban, and it also we always client-led. It doesn't matter what's happening. Whenever Bpesa engages with an investor, we are client-led in what their needs are, what are they looking for, how can we support. So we're going to be sharing with them a list of the BPOs that put up their hands to say, yes, we're prepared to be visited, remembering that there will be some end user clients, there'll be intermediaries, but there will equally be other international BPOs. And if there are some clients that have been brought in by their local BPO that's already operating in South Africa, there could be those local domestic BPOs or international BPOs operating out of South Africa wanting to come and visit. So we need to understand from you, where are your barriers? Who will you allow on site? Who won't you? So then we know how to engage our investors with regards to the actual physical site visits. They'll let us know what they're looking for, and then we craft out a bespoke menu for them. So you'll have a couple going to that site first, that site second, third, fourth, etc., and others doing it the other way around or to other sites. But to make sure that all of our BPOs that we support from a Bpesa perspective have a moment and opportunity to be exposed to the investors and to tell your story. And the nice thing is not only at the event, but beyond, is we're doing the BPO quick fires. And the whole idea there is to really hone your elevator pitches. So 8 minutes, 3 slides, and we're going to record you. And that's what we're going to pop up onto our website, onto YouTube. We'll use that when I'm engaging with investors and they're saying, well, who have you got? What have you got? We'll be able to send them through there. So we're going to send through some sort of, I'm going to call instructions on how to get that all done so we can get all the material in ready to rock and roll. And that we're going to do on the Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons. The Thursday afternoon is not an empty afternoon. Again, we've left some time for networking, but just from a open logistics perspective, those who were at the 2019 event, we utilized many venues and it was a phenomenal event, but there's pros and cons to that. One of the cons is that it costs a lot to put up a technical stage, etc. So what we are going to be doing is using the same venue for our conference as well as for the closing awards gala dinner. Just because we've already got all the technology embedded in the room. Don't worry, you won't be sitting on conference seats at the gala dinner. It's not going to work like that. But we will turn the room around, and that's why we need the room available. So we're going to be having, we've got some sponsors that we're chatting to about our hackathon, and that's really about bringing digital, infusing that digital people mix, but bringing youth in to problem solve solutions that we put out, and then to present those solutions through to the audience, and literally yourselves, audience, will vote for the people's choice. On who's going to be the winning team from the hackathon perspective. So that's going to be happening in the afternoon, as well as some specific sort of speed dating networking opportunities in the afternoon on the Thursday. Then if I hop back into the evenings, on the Tuesday, the 8th, we have our opening cocktail function. Shona's going to go through all of the awards with you in a moment, but that is really the opportunity for us to showcase our finalists that have made it through the process. And what we're also looking to do is that certain of the categories, because there's such a wealth of knowledge that we'd like to share with everybody in the industry as we keep kind of lifting everybody up, is have those individuals doing panel discussions, doing roundtables, sharing the knowledge so that they can share the reason why they got into the top 3, the top 5 of the awards, but also for everybody to meet and greet on the first evening. Second evening, there's 2 functions happening. The one is by invite only. That's the executive dinner. So those are for the investors. Our headline partner actually runs and manages that event. And that's where we have our government partners and that coming in as well. But then all of our delegates that are attending the conference, that's the opportunity to go and do delegate networking and cocktails. And obviously all the venues will be shared with you. And then I've already alluded to it, but on the Thursday evening is the Big Bang closing gala banquet dinner that we'd like to see everybody at. The Friday, we do a closeout session with the investors, just what worked, what didn't work, what are the learnings, what can we bring back to industry to say, guys, they like this, they didn't like this. This is what they're seeing from other destinations that we should be thinking differently about, whatever the case may be. But how it works from your participation perspective, I've got 2 more slides quickly just to show you here. Early bird tickets have been put out. We've made it very affordable for our member community. I think any of you have booked tickets recently for events. I've seen that the price tag's gone up. So sort of a 2-day event is anything from 6,000 Rand upwards. So we put an all-in price of 1,990. Some of your team may only come for the opening cocktail. Some may come only for the closing dinner banquet where you're booking a table or, a couple of tables. And then a couple of your individuals may be doing all of the activities. So that's the early bird. It will swap over on the 15th of October. So please do book before then so you can benefit. And then, of course, we do have sponsorship opportunities available. You've got a number of packages. All of this information is on the website. Shona, Lynn, Samkelo, Yogan, and myself are all available to chat to. Should you be wanting to make use of the platform to brand and expose yourselves to the local and international audience. So we've got some packages which touches every aspect of the event, or we've got more theme-specific partnership packages or more standalone packages. Should you be wanting to sponsor a specific awards prize for that category, or if you want to put gifts into the welcome bags, we've really tried to make this as broad as possible so that there's something for everybody, something for everybody's marketing budget or wherever you are in your strategy at the moment. And then, of course, the exhibition space. Some of the exhibition space is built into the packages that you saw earlier, but otherwise you can take a stand as a standalone. So photo booths that we've got, there's all sorts of ideas. And as I mentioned, the whole intention behind the event is really for you to have a phenomenal 3 days to engage, to immerse, to meet, to greet, and really walk away wiser, but also having shared some information and knowledge with your colleagues in the industry, and just really reinforce something which I'm not sure if everyone's aware, but it's often referenced from an international perspective, just the fact that we are such a great community as the BPO and GBS and CX sector in South Africa. A lot of clients that come in here or other BPOs say it's absolutely unheard of to have competitors sitting around a table discussing how we can solution and problem solve on behalf of the country together. And they love that about us. And really, we don't want to lose that. So this is the opportunity for us to get together, to solution, to create, and ultimately work towards that goal of 500,000 jobs that we have as a sector. I see there's a couple of questions in the chat box, Shona, so I don't want to spend too much time. Let me just see what we've got here. Can we confirm dates? Okay. Thanks, Brandon. The week is from the 7th to the 11th for the investors. The physical activities, as you saw, is taking place on the 8th, 9th, and 10th. So the investors, when we're inviting them, they need to know they need to travel on the weekend and they can only go home on the Friday. We need them here by the 6th or 7th, especially if they're coming from the US and jet lag and that. But for the local community, you just need to get in 2 KZN by 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning on the 8th. And you can depart, probably book it a bit later than first thing in the morning. I don't know if you're drinkers or not, but after the awards banquet on the Thursday, and get your flights booked, for the Friday. So that's the dates. And then Shona, thanks, you answered that. Do Bpesa members still pay the early bird prices? Is the venue Durban ICC again? No. So Yusuf, you saw that there's early bird, there's a member and a non-member rate. And then it's being hosted at the Premier Hotel, which is a new hotel. It's been set up on the Umhlanga Ridge near the Sharks Board. That's where we're going to be hosting it. And can I share the presentation? All the details in the presentation will be shared, and all this information is actually on the website already. I'll pop it into the chat group in a moment. And with that, I will pass you over for what you actually came to hear about, which is very exciting, which is our awards, which we're super excited to have. So over to you, Shona.
Thanks so much, Tracy. And Yusuf, yes, we will share the recording with everybody that's registered, and it'll also be up on Bpesa's YouTube page, probably by later this evening or by tomorrow. So you'll be able to access it from there. I'm going to go off video shortly because I'm going to be sharing my screen and taking you through the platform, and that requires me to use my camera for the purposes of the platform. So I think first things first is this information will also be available on the website. So the Bpesa Alchemy Awards, you'll see the timelines that have been captured. So the site is open. If you click on the links in the document, you'll be able to enter each of the awards. That is all active, up and running. Very important is that the awards entry deadline and the portal closes on the 12th of October, and judging will take place then between the 12th and the 26th. The regional finalists will be announced by the 28th, and we will then do our interviews of the shortlisted candidates between the 31st and the 2nd of November. And the winners will be announced on the 10th of November. But as Tracy mentioned, we will be recognizing our finalists on the 8th of November at the cocktail event. This document has got very important information just in terms of the entry rules, the guidelines, who can enter, and it's open to all Bpesa members and non-members, and entry is free of charge. What we do want from organizations is that if your agents are keen to submit an entry, give it some oversight. It does represent your brand. It represents your organization. So please make sure that you've given it some oversight so there's not information floating around that you haven't vetted off already. All of the information is stored very securely. Nobody has access to download any of the videos that will come through, because you'll see that we're doing things a little bit differently this year. Your information is shared with a panel of judges. However, it's just the entry information. The judges will not have access to any of the personal information, email addresses, telephone numbers. All they'll be able to see is your intro video as well as your submission video for the awards. This is how the categories look and are played out. We've got 10 individual awards categories. So 3 on the best agent from a customer service professional, sales or marketing professional, and collections professional. Then the top GBS team leader and top GBS ops manager award. In terms of the support professionals, we've got the workforce planning professional award, trainer coach award, quality professional award, analyst award, and the GBS support professional award. Moving into the organizational awards, we've got awards for innovations and top solutions. So it's the top technical innovation, the top non-technical innovation, and to reward and award the best organization that has got the work from home or hybrid solution in place. We cannot let the 2 years of COVID go by without recognizing how well the sector in South Africa has been able to stand on their own 2 feet and grow during that COVID time. So that is really a special award and close to our hearts. And we've got our top service or top service provider award, and that is really for the vendor community. So this can either be nominated by the vendor themselves or by an operator who wants to recognize a vendor that they've been working with. We've got the campaign awards, which is the top offshore campaign, and that's been an award that we've run regularly. And what we've added is the top onshore campaign. So we recognize that there are a lot of outsourcers that are sitting locally that outsource to our community. And we want to give them an opportunity to also showcase what they've done with onshore campaigns. And then the 4 operator awards, which is top BPO, top captive, top shared services, and the top emerging operator. Very important is that this is open to international and domestic operators within the country. So it's open to everyone. And as long as you've done exceptionally and performed well, we welcome your entries. There will be Bpesa CEO awards, but these are non-entry based. So I think let's kick off and we'll jump straight in. So yesterday I did one of the individual awards. I think let's jump into the top technical innovation award. You'll be able to click straight through, skip verification. And can you still see my screen? Thank you. Oh, it's recognized me. Hold on.
So, Shona, while you're doing that, just one thing we always want to remind the community on is quality control. So some organizations insist that the entries come through a certain individual just to make sure that they're quality controlled. Or it may be your own internal top performers in the different categories that you have. Those are the only ones that you're allowing to enter. I'll be honest, from a Bpesa perspective, we actually suggest that that is the way you do it from a quality control perspective. We have had some scary entrants in the past. And when I say that, literally, like the company name was spelled wrong or some information wasn't 100% correct. The individuals that are entering and your company awards are obviously representing your brand. And I'm assuming that you obviously want the best possible version of yourself going out. So please do the quality vetting and also coach and support. And there may be some amazing talent that's actually just shy to put themselves forward. And you know, it's your role to actually suggest that those are the ones that go forward. So just wanted to throw that in the mix as well.
Thanks so much, Trace. Okay, so if you click on the link, you'll land on this page because you wouldn't have registered previously with the or with Interview Me and using this. And while I'm talking about Interview Me, a big shout out to Interview Me for allowing Bpesa to utilize the platform to set up the awards and for us to also kind of stay relevant with the youth that we're servicing. So what you'll see when you click into the Innovation and Top Solutions Award is that innovation is the process of transforming new ideas. And it just goes through a little bit about the actual Innovation and Top Solutions Award. And you would then click on Apply Now. This will take you through to the register account. And for the purposes of this, I'm going to say that I don't have an account. So I'm going to sign myself up. Okay, let's use Shona. Shona Westerman. I am now going to be Shona +3.
Sorry, Shona, I'm not sure if it's only on my side, but your screen hasn't changed. I'm still seeing the awards categories on my side. I'm not sure if everyone else is seeing that.
Let me do this. I'm going to share my full screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay, let me go
Thanks so
back.
much.
Cool. So when I clicked on the link, this is the page that now opened. So it tells you that you can apply now. So you here, click to apply to get started. And it just tells you that we're in the Innovations and Top Solutions category of the awards. So when I click here, for the purposes of the demo, I'm going to say that I don't have, and I'm going to stop the video, that I don't have an account. So I'm going to sign up. And this is a cool trick that Jessie from Interview Me taught me so that I can continue to use one email and not have to sign up multiple email addresses onto the platform. And I'm signed up. I'll then receive a notification to verify my password. And passwords are generally one uppercase, one lowercase, or it must be a combination of uppercase, lowercase numbers and a special character. And it's now taken me straight to start my interview. What I encourage everyone to do before they start the interview is to go into my profile and complete the profile with their personal information. So because this has been built for a as an interviewing portal where people can upload their CVs, etc., and we wouldn't have had sufficient time to change it. You'll see some information that isn't relevant, but for the most part, you will be able to complete the personal information section. Obviously, only the important stuff are compulsory, but we don't need your physical address. It'd be nice to capture your region so we know which region you're applying from. Gender and ethnicity is always good to see as well, and then date of birth. Important here in this particular section is the upload resume or upload picture section. So you'll see that this is completely one-way video driven. So we'll ask a question, and the person that's entering the competition or the organization that's entering the competition and the awards would need to respond video. But if you make it past that first round, and if you get into the shortlisted round where we start doing the interviews, there will be a requirement for you to upload evidence of your application or of your submission. And this is where you will go in to upload that evidence. So you'll be able to click upload. Your evidence will be in a Word document or PDF, and you'll be able to then upload that evidence. Profile picture is not important. You're welcome to put it on there if you want, but we will get to see your face when you submit your video. And important is that you can also do an introductory video to yourself. Short introductory video where you record and you go, "Hi, I'm Shona. I'm a call center agent at XYZ call center, and I am so excited to be entering the Bpesa Alchemy Awards." And once you've updated your information, you would just go in and save. And like I mentioned earlier, none of this information is shared with the judges. So your agent's personal information is all protected. We then go back to my interviews, and you'll see here that I am entering the Top Technical Innovation Award, and I can then click to apply. And I'm back to step number 3, and I'm going to start my interview. There is an intro video and an outro video that will play for you, and it will just give you a little bit of guidance in terms of what's needed.
Hi, everyone. For those who don't know, I am Shona, Regional Executive at Bpesa.
I'm going to skip over that because when you enter, you'll see it, and you're going to see it a couple of times. This is very important. There will be terms and conditions to be downloaded from the Bpesa website. Make sure that whoever is entering the awards has read and agrees to the terms and conditions. If you click no on this, it will kick you out. You won't be allowed to progress through to the next stage of the actual submission. So click yes. I've met the minimum requirements. And I now get to start my interview. Before we do that, the system will take you through a connection test and a hardware test, just to make sure that you have sufficient bandwidth, so you don't get stopped in the middle because your internet drops or whatever. So it will ping whoever your provider is. You can skip over it, but I just want to take you through so that you can see what it does. It then also checks my upload speed, because once you've recorded the video, it will upload it to your application or entry. Cool, all my stuff's working fine. I can move on to testing my hardware, and the hardware test is really just looking at, is my sound being picked up? And we can see that it is. And is my video working? So all good, and we can continue. And it tells you that we are now going to start. Agents or somebody that hasn't worked on the system is welcome to click through the interview explainer, but this is exactly what I took you through. And it says you're about to start. You may not pause, stop, or restart the interview, and your interview application will be discarded if you stop it prematurely. So you can stop, you can go out of the screen, but it won't be saved, and you'll have to restart your entry submission if that happens. Trace, can we just check where the background noise is coming from? Thank you. And we're now going to start. So take a deep breath. And your first question will pop up. You'll see that there's a 15-second time that allows you to read the question. Obviously, you would have downloaded the question and prepared your answers in advance. Outline the innovation being submitted. Was it developed in-house or a third party? And here you have an opportunity to answer the questions. For this particular question, you've been given 2.5 minutes. It gives you the question on the top again, and it tells you that you've got 2.5 minutes to complete answering this particular question. Now, the 2.5 minutes is by no means an indication of how long or short we want your answer to be. We've given sufficient time for people to be able to answer any of these questions, and we've allowed you 3 retakes for the question. So if the dog starts to bark or the baby starts to cry or somebody walks in lines of sight of the camera and you feel, oh, I could have done that differently, you then go and you can retake. It will restart the timer to 2.5 minutes, and you now complete your submission. You're happy with your answer, you save and continue. It will immediately upload and take you to the next question. So this is why preparation becomes fundamentally important. Your second question has got an answer time of 2 minutes. What challenge was? I'll fix that. Was the solution addressing? Expand on whether the challenge is a unique issue in the sector or not, and how the challenge was solved. Again, my timer is at 2 minutes. I have an opportunity to answer the question. At this stage, if there's more than one person in the organization round that has been involved in the innovation, or that is part of the team that is submitting this particular awards entry, you're welcome to have 2 or 3 people in the room. You've got that 15-second think time where you can change who's sitting in front and who's answering and responding to the question. And you're now able to have that conversation. So if I was the ideas behind the innovation for technical innovation, I can maybe talk about how it arose. But somebody else that was in charge of the budget, somebody from finance, comes in and they can elaborate on how, as an organization, we justified the investment into this particular innovation. And for this particular question, you have got 2.5 minutes again to tell us whether it came in on time, whether it came in on budget. You can talk about what the delays were. And then you can say that the organization justified it because of X, Y, and Z, and this was the return on investment. And you'll go through this for each and every one of the questions that have been designed. I'm just going to skip over them. It also tells you that you're now in question 4 of 7. How did the solution enhance your business? You could even go as far as putting on a hat to answer this particular question. Be as creative as you can, or as you want to, or as the question allows. And take note of the answer time that pertains to the question as well. I'm going to skip over. I think we're on the last question, or last 2. Yeah. And here you're welcome to talk about metrics that you've put in place. I mean, really what you discuss and how you submit your answer for each of the questions in each of the different categories is entirely up to you. And our final question. Why do you believe you deserve to win this award? That's the final question for almost every round or every category, so make sure it's a good one. I deserve to win because I have done this interview so many times. If I don't win, I'm going to be angry. And there you have it. You're at the end. I just thank you for your entry here. And I wish you...
Thank you so much for
but you can close me. If you've seen it once, you've seen it too many times. And we ask you then just to rate your experience on it. And that's it. I have submitted my entry into the Top Technical Innovation Award. What happens here after is we go through, we look for completeness of the entry. If your profile isn't complete, you might receive an email from the system again saying, please complete your profile. And we then pass this on to our judges or our judging panel, and they will then have a look at your answers. So how the judges see it, they see your name and surname, and they see the award that you have entered into. They see the question, they click on the question, and all they see is your video response. And they work through all 7 rate your responses, and we get to our shortlist based on that. And that's it. So it is absolutely important that you guys have the questions up front, that you've prepared your answers up front, and that you are ready to rock and roll by the time you go into the system to submit your entry. I'm just going to go through, I see a lot of stuff in the chat, and I want to try and
Yeah, so
answer.
Shona, the one question Yusuf's asking about the one spokesperson, so if you want to cover that.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to have more than one spokesperson for your company. For the individual awards, we would prefer it if the individual entering the award did their own submission, so they were able to do the video interaction. It will just give us a better idea of who the person is that's entering the award. But yes, a company can nominate a spokesperson to answer each question. You can't create the footage up front because it is a live interview. So you've got to be sitting in front of a computer and then talking. What you could possibly do, Yusuf, is you could do it in a boardroom where you've got one camera that's connected to the PC, and you could test it out that way. I'm also happy to maybe sit with you on a call while you go through perhaps a test one that we can exclude from the judging process, to make sure that you can do it that way, where you have several people in a boardroom and each person answering. So maybe pop me an email, Yusuf, let me know your availability, and I'm happy to take you through that.
Thank you so much, Shona. I'll definitely do that.
Perfect. Yeah, there will be a script. So you can download all the awards. Each of the awards categories have got the questions pertaining to them. The questions that are highlighted in orange are for evidence-based, and questions where it says provide evidence. You don't obviously need to provide evidence on the interview one-on-one. You answer the question, and if you get through to the next round, that's when the evidence will be required for upload. But the questions that are highlighted in orange won't be asked as part of the video interview.
Okay, awesome. I just want to latch onto that question. Will there not be any data that you'd require to, along with the submission? Will you request that from us at a later stage?
That's correct. So if you already have the data, if you've prepared the full submission, including the evidence where it says upload CV, you're welcome to collate everything into one PDF document, including your stats, your KPIs, etc., and pop it as an upload onto the website. Then we've got it already. So when we ask for evidence, it's important, guys, there's a 24-hour turnaround on the evidence pack reaching us. So it's best to prepare the entire submission up front, answer the questions on the video interview, and upload your information so that when we do request it from you, it's already there. You can just pop it over to us, or we can just access it on the website where evidence is required.
Perfect.
I think just on that point, Shona, it goes back to the quality aspect, is that because if you shortlisted and evidence is going to be requested, make sure that the entries that are submitted can be evidenced, because it will be asked for if you shortlisted. So yeah, if you're going and putting something out there and you can't submit the evidence, you're immediately going to be disqualified from the shortlist pool.
Yeah. Trace, was there any other questions?
I'm not seeing any others that have come through. Rod did make a very good point, though, which I did respond to, but make sure that there's not a copy paste for all of the submissions. Again, we've had that in the past where, you know, 8 agents, because that's the limit. 8 agents were submitted. And as you start going through the entries, it's like, wait, I've seen this before. Why? Because it's exactly the same entry. All they've done is change the person's name. Don't do that, because literally what happens then, the entire company gets disqualified for that category because it's not a unique entry.
Yeah. The entries must be unique. And I think what's nice about the new software that we're using is you're able to pick that up. So also like encourage the agents to be part of the submission when they're creating it. A team leader and a manager can help them put it together, help them pull the information together, but let it be their words, let it be who they are, because under the theme of South Africa's got GBS talent, we know that we've got fantastic people in our organizations. Some of them are just shy. Put them in a closed room and let them do this. I hate public speaking, contrary to popular belief and how often I've been on camera this week. But they'd be comfortable. And one of the tricks that I do when I am talking on a webinar or where I'm doing something and I've got access to cue cards, I use my computer in this instance, so I'm not looking down at a cue card and talking up. So on my computer screen, I would generally have my cue card notes down, so that when I'm talking, I can access those particular points right in front of me. It's on my screen. It doesn't look like I'm reading off the screen. I'm still engaging with whoever I'm talking to. So maybe as guidance and coaching for the guys that will be submitting awards, especially at the agent level, maybe help them with those kinds of tips and tricks, but let it be them. We want to see their shining, awesome personalities come through on these video submissions. Any other questions? There is a link in the chat that Tracy's just put in. All of the questions are in a document on the website, which you can download. And we offered it to yesterday's group on the call as well. If you would like us to do or to launch this in your organization, to talk to your agents about it, to come and do the demo for them, either there or online, I'm available in the Gauteng region. Our regional reps are also available, but we could do it online for them. You could get them into a boardroom once you've identified who you want to enter or whoever's put up their hands, and I'd be happy to take them through. It's a half-an-hour demo where we could take them through the process as well. Yes, I don't see any other questions, guys. Just opening up to questions from the floor. If there is anything, please let us know. And we'll be happy to answer your questions now, or you're welcome to pop an email to anyone in the team and we'd be glad to assist. Thanks, Jess.
I want to see thumbs up, hands up, who's entering. Physical or virtual, there we go. Brilliant, good. Yeah, no, it's exciting, guys. Obviously, you know, COVID's really knocked us and we didn't run the awards last year. So the last time we hosted is in 2019. And we just really want to recognize the amazing work that's been done in the industry, our amazing individuals. So really excited.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We really do appreciate your time on a Thursday afternoon, and hoping to see you all at the event in November. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.